we found a way to get a win. You know, very proud of our football team. They came out and fought, but Hampton came to play. You know, Hampton came to play. We had a very slow start throughout, I thought, with our offense. We got to be a little better. You know, Hampton did a great job with time of possession. Defense played a lot of snaps, but they stepped up. You know, we got a really good defensive group. Special teams played well too, but the thing that I'm disappointed right now is just the 10 penalties. You know, 10 penalties is unacceptable as a program. I got to be better as a head coach, getting my guys with to understand the discipline. But I just thought that was a difference in the game. But you know, we still were able to manage 400 yards of offense. You know, like I said, defense created turnovers, but you know, we got to shake the dust off and get ready for Southern Miss on next week.
Questions?
Coach, how you doing? Swag Media, Roger Gavin at the Roger Media. Coach, your guys started out tough fight. They played a full game.
Yeah.
They looked like they were definitely in shape.
Yeah.
All right. Can you just expound on how they came together as a team to go ahead and push through and get the momentum and keep it?
Yeah, that was a lot a test to all the work we put in the off season. You know, that's what we talk about and preach. You know, every group is not going to be playing well each and every weekend, and I continue to challenge our defense to go out there and get it done for us today. Till the offense got it going, I think late in the fourth quarter, right there. But that's what we do here. You know, that's what we do here, and I preach it. I'm gonna continue to preach it to those guys. I talked about it at half. I told the defense, I said, y'all playing well. You know, and I knew this guy next to me, to the right of me, if we can get him in some space, you know, he would have opportunity to take a couple to the house. Had the big run right there at the end of the half. I'm screaming, get down, so we can kick the field goal. But he was trying to score. But he's a great back, you know, and Quincy, he can rush the passer. So I'm excited about where we're going, you know, with this football team right now.
And for your running back, sir, do you actually feel like you actually had a good game? I know the competitor in you may say, hey, I could have done more, but do you feel like you actually had a good game, and is there more left in the tank?
I feel like I had a decent game. There's definitely a lot more to work on, but it was just some plays, you know, some money left out on the field that, you know, I just got to go back and watch, and we just got to go back and watch as a team. So I feel like I had a decent game, but it's a lot more work to put in.
Coach, we knew that obviously Hampton was going to be a physical team.
Yeah.
That first half, it was more of like a stalemate. Was it more so of them being difficult to deal with, or more so you guys just not executing the way that you wanted?
Yeah, just rhythm. I don't think we played with any rhythm. Again, the defense gave us some great field position in that first half. We was, you know, in the plus 40 a couple times and just, you know, couldn't get nothing going, and at least even find ways to generate a field goal. You know, but we just had to continue to fight, you know, but hats off to Hampton. They came ready to play football, you know. You had to take whatever happened last season with that football team. Today they came to play. And you're going to run into games like that, but we got to get back to the drawing board. I've been saying it, I said it in an interview earlier. It's a holiday weekend, but not for us. You know what I'm saying? We got to get back to it. A lot of expectation. You know, my expectation is through the roof for this football team as well, but we'll get it. We'll get ready for Southern Miss, go down here to Hattiesburg. You know, they had a tough loss to Mississippi State today, and I know Coach Huff, he's a great football coach. He got a lot of transfers in there. And we got to play free football. We can't go down there and have 10 penalties. I don't think we turned the ball over, did we? But we got to clean some stuff up offensively. You know, find a way to start out fast earlier.
TC, you guys are going to probably jump between being a hunted and being a hunter today. You know, obviously being a hunted has been the champ, but now going down to Southern Miss.
Yeah.
What's the mindset have to be like in sort of going into that?
You got to believe you can play with them. You know, it starts up here. That's what I just told them in the locker room. You got to believe you going down 49 to win the football game, no matter what's eagle on the side of the helmet or whatever, whoever we're playing. And that's what the mindset we're going to have. You know, these guys, I don't have to tell them about how to work. They're going to come to work. It's up to us as coaches to put together a good plan. You know, and but they're going to come out and play hard. We got to put them in the best situation as possible and go out here and execute.
Coach, any update on Jeremiah Williams and him not dressing out today?
Yeah, he just had banged up the knee a little bit. You know, he could have played, but we thought it was best to just sit him out, you know, get him ready for that back end stretch. We got a lot of football to play. He's probably one of our most dominant football players on the team, but you can see, even without him, it was a bunch of guys got their name called on that defense side. Stanley Cooks, everybody played well. This guy right here, Quincy Ivory, Tymon Wells played good football. Brown played good football. We got a lot of guys can play, and that's a luxury when you can take a Jeremiah Williams and sit him down and still go, you know, dominate the way we did defensively.
And then you talked about coming into this week about you were going to learn a lot from your team in this game. What did you learn today?
I think we're very talented. I think we're very talented. We got to clean like I said, the penalty stuff up, but we got some guys out there that can really play the game. I'm very proud of our special teams, though. They played a great football game today. My guy Simon, the freshman kicker, we put him out there the first time because we were contemplating, like, is he going to kick it straight? You know what I'm saying? But he put it through the end zone like 3 or 4 times. These guys know what I'm talking about because we were going. We were thinking about putting G-Baby out there, but you gotta manage those kickers as well. And we knew he had a strong leg, a live leg coming out of high school. Eric Simmons. Eric Simmons played a great football game. He had 2 huge returns, but with 2 penalties. Just killed us, a thorn in our side right there. But you could see the flashes. You could see the making of a good football team. And like I said, this is on me now. It's on me to get back to the drawing table, get these guys ready to go.
Coach, championship teams make championship drives. That 12-play drive that y'all put together in the fourth quarter, what was your message to the team at that time?
Follow my lead. I had to pull that sheet out of my pocket a little bit and get it going. But I told them in the huddle, I said, y'all follow my lead. Let's get going. Lock in with me. I'm going to get us down here. And they did the rest, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, up front, we played pretty good. But you're going to get into games like that. You think back last year in Celebration Bowl, we had a strong drive like that. And, you're going to have to find ways to win football games in the end. And like I said, hats off to Hampton to stay into that game like that. They did not quit. That quarterback gave us fits. They ran the ball well. They had a receiver making plays. And when it got tied up, we got to go on and separate at this point. We got to find a way to separate. And these guys went out there and executed the stuff I was calling.
All right. Right here, the defense MVP. Sir, what did you see out there that you saw opening and you just actually made some plays that really gave your team momentum?
I feel like Coach Quinn just put us in great positions, to great pressures. Feel like my play was just basically helping out the defense, not really me. So.
Okay. Quincy, how did you guys talk from a unit to respond after that first drive? They take it right down the field real quick, punch it in the end zone, but then they don't get anything going into the end zone for another 3 quarters until the end. What was the defensive adjustment that you guys made?
Bend, don't break.
Yep.
We say finish 4 quarters, so we knew that we made a mistake on that first drive and we wasn't going to let that happen again.
I think it was a quick slant. Where they broke for a touchdown. I'm not sure, but it was kind of a crossing route.
Crossing route.
Yeah, crossing route, yeah. What was said to rally the guys back together, other than what you just stated?
We were never shooken up. We know that it's a lot of broken plays that's going to happen, a lot of ups and downs, but as long as we stick together, we know nobody can beat us.
I want to talk about the running back room.
Yeah.
And just talking about, I heard about opportunities. So can you speak about just opportunities in the running back room and how that came to be true on the field near the end of the game?
For me?
Yeah.
It's the relationships. Them dudes cheer each other on. They play through one another. You saw Travis Terrell started the game out, but Ahmad, when Travis carrying the ball, he's the biggest cheerleader over there on the sideline. Denario Davenport played a good game. You still had Nate over there, Keenan. We got a bunch of guys. I think we rushed for 280-something yards today. So they stick together. And then, they got a great leader, Coach Gallen. Coach Gallen does a great job for him. With those guys and everything, but he does a good job of keeping them together, and that's what it is. All of them can go out there and run the football hard. They got God's gifts. So I can't say enough about just the relationships they got in that room and how they cheer each other on and challenge each other each and every day.
Yeah, I want you to walk us through that big time run you had, that play. What was on your mind? What you was going through? And how you felt?
Yeah, score. Trying to wrap the game up, but before I went out there, Coach Gallen told me to read my keys. He yelled at as I was running on the field. So just going out there, taking my time, getting a good look at the defense, just executing the play. That O-line did their job, tight end. So just going out there and executing, trying to finish the game out strong.
Coach said one of the questions about this team will be how the depth will respond. A lot of guys got some experience last year, but this is a new level of depth for you guys. What is it like to have that competitiveness in the running back room, but also to be able to stand out today? Yeah,
I love it. I love it. It pushes everybody. It causes you to push forward and not slack. It's a lot of motivation, but the brotherhood, we love each other. That's a real brotherhood. So we cheering each other on. So it's great. It's a great thing.
Coach, how big of a win? Obviously, it's the first game of the season. But how big of a game of this for you guys to win this game? To kind of continue to carry that message that you guys are the team to be.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, there's a lot of expectation on us. I know for me, it was a lot of probably about 10 to 15 guys I wanted to see on my football team how they would play football, and can we count on these guys when we get to November and December, you know? And that question was answered, you know. But it's just like you said, every week we're going to have a target on our back. Teams are going to play their best football against us, and I've cemented that into these guys' heads each and every day throughout the summer. And you know, Hampton showed that today. You know, hats out to their defense and their football team and everybody over there. Head coach did a great job, but we got to understand that each and every week. You know, nothing is going to be easy. We just have to find a way to come away with the W in the end.
Hey, Coach, can you elaborate on the offensive line?
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot of chat on the sideline just talking about how those guys were just protecting and just driving down the field.
Yeah, 283 yards rushing, that's a lot. You know, and the thing about it, you lose Evan Henry, Kurt Ford. We got a new center in there. Who else? A couple more new guys up in the DQ White. DeQuarius White started at right guard. But they're big. They're big, they're athletic, they can play. And I think they did a good job of shaking the cobwebs off. And anytime you talk about O-line play, it's all about chemistry. You're getting the right five out there to play together. You know, so Bam Williams had to come off the bench once DQ was injured and play some right guard. He's just a redshirt freshman. White is a redshirt freshman. They're very young up there as well, but I can't say enough about them. You know, when you play Jackson State, the first thing we want to do is run the football. You know, that's what we're all about, running the football, and they, you know, those guys put it together and allowed us to do that today. And again, they got a great leader as well. Manny Ramirez does a great job with them guys as well. But I can't say enough about the group. You know, I seen what I needed to see where we got an opportunity to be real good this year up front.
I want to know about the expectations about you guys on your left and your right, but also about your team. How close are they to the expectation that you have set for them individually and for a team as a whole?
Well, anytime you lose a guy off of last year's team, I'm going to call his name is Josh Nobles. You know that when it was a third down or whatever to play, well, he was going to get to the quarterback. You can ask Quincy now. I challenged him every day in practice in front of everybody. I know he thought some days I didn't like him, but I saw the potential in him, you know, and I knew what he was going to do once he got to the football games, and he was one of those 10 or 15 guys. This guy to my right, he has not said one word since we've been playing football all summer. He's just been locked in. I hadn't seen Ahmad that focused since he's been here. And then the thing with Ahmad, it's just been the injury. You know, I knew once he get on the field, because he had a great freshman year, he was solid his sophomore year, and he's going to show the world that he can run the football. But you lose a Josh Nobles, you lose Irv Mulligan, you know. But when you're able to replace them, you know you're getting the right guys in here. And let me say this: they're not just good football players; these are good young men. You know, they do everything the right way. They come to work every day, and I can say that for this entire football team. You know, anytime you don't have one of your best players out there today, and Jeremiah Williams, and they're able to come out with a 2-touchdown win, I can't say enough about those guys. I'm proud of my coaches. I'm proud of the fans. You know, it wasn't pretty, but we got it done. But they showed up, and I know they're going to show up out here in Hattiesburg on next week. But the expectation is high. For us, everybody in the city of Jackson, we looking forward to a great season. I guarantee you that.
Thank you, sir. Let's end it on that, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Good job, guys.